Hello everyone, and welcome to my talk about platform team and how to build a platform team. I've been building platform team for the last 6-7 years, so main idea of this talk is to give you some insight on what you should be looking at when you are building a platform team, or if you are a member of a platform team, idea on how to expand, how to grow, and provide more services for other engineers. Really quickly, I'm Jean Burellier, I'm a principal engineer and leading the platform team here at Sanofi. I'm also an open source contributor, mostly around the JavaScript ecosystem with Node.js Express. And you can also find me on a lot of social, Blue Sky, Twitter, GitHub, stuff like that. So feel free to connect if you want to discuss platform team or anything else. Sanofi, really quickly, we are a global pharmaceutical company, 85,000-ish employees around the globe. We have offices in 70, maybe a bit more countries, and we are delivering product to 180 countries or so. What's really important is we have thousands and thousands of applications, both internally and externally, ranging from simple website to HPC, API, storage, pretty much everything you can guess. So first, and I know we are all here at PlatformCon, we are aware what a platform is, or maybe we are a member of a platform team. But really quickly, what's really a platform team? I think it's always interesting to have this kind of point of view. So first, platform engineering on my side really is to build internal tool and system, and the main idea is to try to remove all the complexity. It can be on the infrastructure, on the front end, for all other business engineering team. The main idea is also to provide a safer and more consistent software delivery, and especially you want every team to be able to deliver software really faster. One of the points also in the main focus that I have on my daily task is how can I improve the developer experience every time I'm facing an issue, or every time a specific team is facing an issue. How can I improve their experience? How can I provide a solution that will be reusable across multiple teams? And how can I build a solution that will be scalable without needing 20 more people to maintain it? That's really the key point here. And so the mission, and I think one really key point on this slide is really, as a platform team, you want to play the role of enablers. You don't want to be someone blocking the adoption or blocking innovation. So your main idea or your main mission is really to empower every product team across the organization to try to ship new feature with confidence and fully independent. You don't want them to rely on you to build a new feature or to deploy a new feature. But you also want to be able to prove or to display specific KPI or dashboard about what you are bringing to the company. It can be time saved, a huge satisfaction by other team, maybe improving the developer velocity, showing the adoption of your solution and capabilities. Like you have quite a lot of way to show that what you are doing is really serving a purpose and helping other team. That's really something that's really important here. And also, we all know DevOps platform SRE, for most of the people, it's linked. On my side, really, the DevOps is really a cultural point. It's really a cultural mindset, where the platform engineering is really structural. DevOps, you share ownership, you have collaboration between teams, but DevOps is a mindset. It should not be a direct position. Whereas for platform, main idea of a platform team is trying to deep dive into this DevOps mindset and finding way to enabling DevOps practices, maybe by providing CI/CD capabilities, maybe to have observability by default, to provide safe, secure, and compliant resources. Like there is quite a lot of way, but the two are linked, DevOps and platform, but that's not the same. And on my side, I don't have DevOps engineer, I have only platform engineers. One point also, we are all having people that want to build a platform team because it's hype, or that because I heard someone that building a platform team will save them. No, platform team is really useful on specific use case. For example, and that's not the only point, but the main one, where you should be wondering yourself, do you need a platform team? Do you need to create a platform team? First one is really, if your onboarding take too long, if you have to, when a newcomer is joining, if they are lost in documentation, or even seasoned engineer, if they are lost in documentation, are not able to find if an API already exists or is deployed, if there is no ownership anywhere of a specific onboarding process or specific setup, yes, you may need a platform team. Also, If you have pipelines that are fully inconsistent, both in time, quality, expectation, what's part of the pipeline, maybe you need a platform team to deploy or to help maintain or create reusable pipeline for all your teams. And also the last one that is, for me, really something that is common. If specific engineers depend on another team to deploy basic infrastructure, and I'm not saying huge gateway that would handle thousands and thousands of different API and millions of requests per second, but really something simple as a database, let's say, then maybe you need a platform team to provide a specific set of tools that every team can use and reuse without being expert on one specific field. So yeah, that's really important. And one code quickly that I really like is from the pragmatic engineer, is a definition of the platform team thing, that the platform team are the building block that product team use to ship business-facing functionality. And that's really the main point here, meaning that the products are built on top of platform, and those platforms, their main purpose is to enable product team to move faster. And I think that's really interesting to have that view. You try to build as a platform the bottom layer of your company, and everyone will build product and business-facing functionality and capability on top of that. So if you build a platform, you can win a lot, but you need to build it the right way. I spent the last, like I said, 6-7 years building platforms. So is my 15-ish main point that you may need to look for, or just wonder yourself when you are building a platform team, or if you are part of the platform team. First, really, you need to start with developer pain. The main issue that a platform team needs to solve is going to see other engineers, other people writing code and deploying stuff, and just to find what's your friction, what's your issue on a daily basis, and how can I solve that? And trying, once you gather all the information, try to focus on fixing one problem at a time and try to find a problem that will solve or bring the most impact for the company. That's really where you want to start. So, okay, you want to do that first, then you know on what you want to build. Treat that as a product. A new platform should be a product. You have customer, all engineer of the company will be your engineer, meaning that you also want to apply the same product principle that you would have if you build a front end, a mobile application, or anything else. You want to have feedback from your user, you want to give them roadmap, you want on your side to be aware of metrics, usage, performance, pretty much everything. And try to also keep this main idea of you want to build small deliverable, you want to quickly increment new capabilities, you want to iterate quickly. That's really the main point. Your platform needs to be seen as a product, and you need to see everything you develop and deploy as a product. So now that you have your product, build with developers and engineers. Please don't think that you know what engineer will want or need on how they are working with business or specific use case. Directly work with them. Work with them, design tooling, discuss with them, try to have meeting, to have sync, office hour and stuff like that, to try to get a lot of feedback, a lot of information on how you can improve your product and what you are basically giving them. One also key point that I try to always have is dogfooding my own product, meaning that if I deploy something or if I create a new product, I want to be a customer of my own product. That way I can also find what the issue, is it working properly, or do I have any other problem? When you have that path, and every time your product is being used by user, you want to try to define a golden path, meaning that my product will be solving that issue first. It's really the main issue. Maybe it's some other issue, but you want to build one solution that, if it may not be perfect and solving every use case, but if you build something that solve 90% of the case for your company, it's already amazing. You don't need first to focus on the last 10%. Just give that, save a lot of time, improve the capability of your company, and then you work on the next 10% that maybe they are not capable to use your first version, but then you improve that slowly. For example, if you build new service scaffolding or new way to deploy to production, you don't need to target everything. Just check in your company, website, API, what is needed. Maybe not that only one team is using a Kafka event-driven something, but all the other parts of the company are using an S3 bucket, a DynamoDB, and a Lambda. So maybe focus just on that and keep that in mind to try to prioritize a golden path. Every time you are building something, you also want to try to build a standard around it. You don't want to dictate, you don't want to really force people to follow only your standard, but you want to bring standardization. For example, giving to all product default template, default configuration that people can use and reuse out of the box. Try to maybe give them the ability to change specific value or to move into edge cases, but really the main idea is bringing uniformity around what you are doing, yet giving the capability for people to modify some specific use case that it may have. And when you are building that, also please try to document everything. You don't want to lose a lot of time with people coming to you, asking you, how can I use that feature? How can I use that solution? You want to have a really good even documentation across the board, from onboarding guide to technical solution. Meaning that also you need to build a specific setup for portal wikis or anything you want, an internal developer platform that give all your engineers the capability to find all documentation easily. And for that, we're using Backstage. Backstage is definitely amazing around that. You can fully customize it, and on our side, it's pulling documentation from a lot of different solutions, from GitHub, from Confluence, and from other stuff. The main idea is good documentation will reduce by a lot the time you will be spending supporting other team, because they will be able to basically do their own work. Bringing me to, you want to build a solution that would be self-served by every engineer. Could be UI, could be CLI, could be API, but you don't want you to be a blocker or someone from your team being needed to click on a button to validate something. Please try to give every team the full capabilities to build their own solution and to not be blocked by you because you are off or something. So, and it's also, increase the ownership. They are able to do their own process, so everyone is happy. And everything that you build for them, try to bring that to build it in a way that is fully automated, especially everything that is really boring. I don't want to spend time reviewing pull requests that add people to a GitHub organization or allow them to do something, give them a certificate or some provisioning of specific resources. Just trying to automatize everything is the right way to do. This also gives your engineer more time to work on value work. For that, on our side, we are using a lot of Terraform. Infrastructure as code is key. And also it gives you the ability, if you provide the right setup, to enforce standard across environment, giving them pretty much everything from repeatability, from way to deploy the same way between all dev, test, and production environment, for example. So trying to bring infrastructure as code for everything up to configuration to your, let's say, GitHub or maybe GitLab or any SaaS solution. That way everything can be automated and you don't need manual input. And you also have by default full traceability, which is great. And by traceability, I mean you want to know what's happening in your system, meaning observability need to be built in. You try to provide everything as a plug and play. You can also give dashboard and alert out of the box, meaning that if specific team don't have the right level of observability, you will still be catching information and being able to give them information that maybe the database is not full, or maybe there are 10 times more requests being done on their services today, which is strange, so they will need to investigate. So, but building observability for all the team by default is also a good mindset to work and to provide capability as a platform that would help them to work a bit better. Same, security compliance, try to provide that by default. You are building solutions that help other people, let's say, to deploy. You want that deployment to be successful, to have the right level of security, to have the right compliance. If you need to be compliant with EPA, SOC 2, or some other specific framework, just do that by default. That way, everyone that will be using your own tool, they will be able to get that compliance by default. Same if you're working on specific field, auditability guardrail is really great. Then you have the full evangelization, discuss, and try to build a momentum and trust with everyone. Share storying where you save time, don't play the big heroes, but try to find use case where you are really saving time for your company, meaning money. I speak already at the first about the measurement, so try to get your KPI and all information, security, developer satisfaction, time save, MTTR, like pretty much everything. And then you will need to build at one time a multidisciplinary team, not just one solution, but trying to solve So the issue around SRE, maybe infrastructure, security, compliance, front-end, back-end, try to be a full cross-functional team and build your platform that way. And finally, the almost last one is start with a small product and try to grow slowly. Don't try to eat an elephant, just try with a small mouth, but that does have a lot of impact for your company. And the last one is really try to bring a culture of enablement. You don't want to be a gatekeeper, you want to be a partner, you want to be working with a team, you want to work with everyone. So yeah, let's collaborate, let's build pretty much everything. And if the platform is a success, you want that to be a developer success across the board for all engineering teams. So yes, really quickly, I have a few seconds left. A lot of those issues are issues that I had every time I had to build a platform. So I worked a lot on building open source. So you have multiple parts here. First one, building a full set of standards that you can reuse for your company or for your platform team. Basically going into security, cloud service, compliance, code quality, and stuff like that. So feel free to reuse that. Also provide some set of Terraform modules that are by default fully compliant across the board against all frameworks. So use that if you don't want, and feel free to open pull requests or issue if you want new stuff. Same for Docker images. It's always something that is really hard to maintain and keep that up to date. So build your own Docker images. You can use mine as a default. And the last one is trying to build a default observability dashboard from most common use case, from API, front-end, security, compliance. Same, I have a TR project for that, so feel free to use that. And I'm just on time. If you want to know more, I'm also writing article on Medium, Dev2, and some other stuff, so feel free to connect, feel free to read, and ping me if you have any questions. So thanks a lot, and have a good day.